Hello, I'm Pamela Davis. Welcome to episode 189 of the Well Done Life podcast. Hello, and welcome back to episode 189 of the Well Done Life podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Davis. If you are new here, hey, how are you? Welcome. I am so glad that you're here this week. I hope you will stay for a very long time. And if you've been here before, you guys know the deal. I love you deep. Thank you so much for continuing to support me and rock with me. Your support has really helped me in so many ways, and I wouldn't be on this journey without you, so thank you. Before we get started, I'd like to make sure that we're really foundational. It's really important to me that everyone understand that this podcast, this brand, I really feel is like a house. It's like a safe space. And this is a safe space for women. And I like to make sure that our safe space is built on two very important things, and that is clarity and love. And so clarity is really straightforward. Again, I just want you to understand that this is a space for women. I created this space because I believe in the power of women. I believe that when women come together and we share our stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, we give each other a chance to be inspired. We give each other a chance to heal and to learn and to grow. And so I want to create this space that is rooted in all of those things so that we can thrive, because I feel like when I share my journey, I inspire you to share yours, and then you inspire another woman to share theirs. And we learn from each other. The differences that we have are very surface level. A lot of the things that we go through in life unite us. And sometimes we need to be able to realize or be reminded of that so that we can see the best in each other and we can grow and heal together. So welcome. Along that line, though, obviously clarity, I want to make sure that I give you my second foundation. That's my favorite foundation too, which is love. I'm a sucker for love, and I believe in love. And love will be the root of everything that we do in this space. So it is very important for me that when I am sharing my love with you, that I share my love with you through prayer. I truly believe that when two or more people come together in prayer, our prayers are magnified. And so I want to make sure that this week, it is very important to me to share the prayer of just living life. Life is so short, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it's so short. And I know you know that, and I know we all know that, but sometimes we just get so caught up in our own things that we take it for granted until unfortunately life stops for someone that we love or someone that we respect and admire, and then it rocks us to our core. And I really hope that as we are maturing in this journey of life, that we stop doing that we start recognizing that every day is a gift, and that we have to live every day as that gift that it is, that we have to love the people that we love a little harder, that we, spend time with them, that we share with them, that we talk with them, that we don't want to have regrets. It's just very important to make sure that we lead with love. And so I just want us to remember that life is short, because unfortunately, none of us are aging backwards. We're all aging forward. And so we have to remember we may not have tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. Live today like today's your last day. Give and just be open and lead and with love. Trust that God's got you and you'll be blessed. So I just want to share that with you. Along that line, I'm also sending you prayers of rest. Rest is essential. I'm sure you all are wondering, like, wow, all of a sudden she has a little bit different bass to her voice. Yes, I am sick. I have an upper respiratory infection, or AKA the common cold, as they now say. And this is actually my best sounding day. I've been sick for a few days, for pretty much the bulk of this week. And this is the first day that people have told me, ooh, you sound much better. So I'm on the mend. And I thought about not recording, but I was like, nah, it's in my spirit and I need you guys. So I'm here and I'm grateful. But essentially, I'm going to rest. I will be taking some time, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But yeah, it's so important to give your body rest. Obviously, because you want to be physically at your best, but at the same time, to be mentally at your best, to not feel so much of the pull to do everything for everyone. Sometimes you need to sit in stillness, and we've talked so many times about it. It's important. Give yourself that rest that you need. It's a busy season for all of us. But taking rest will allow you to be equipped to handle the busyness in the most effective way possible. So give yourself the time. Give yourself rest. Allow yourself to recalibrate and reset. So that is my second prayer for you. My third prayer is pretty simple. It's love. I want you to be surrounded in love. I want you to know every day that you are loved when you get up in the morning, when you go through life, when you are doing your things, when you lay down at night. I want you to know that you are loved. There will never be another person like you. You are unique. You are one of one. And so always know that you are a special, rare gift, and never take that for granted. Never feel like you are less than. Always feel that you are more than. You are more than enough. Even on those days when you don't feel like it, you are more than enough. Because you are unique, you are divine, and you cannot let your gifts be untold. And you also have to remember to be able to see that in other people. And so you want to be able to be the love that you need, be the love that you want. And I'm talking about good, healthy, reciprocal love on all levels, not just romantic levels, but relational levels, friendship levels. I want you to have the best in your life. I do. And I apologize about the long pause and breath, but girl is sick, so I got to breathe. But I do. I want you to have as much love as you possibly can in your life, because again, life is short and you deserve to surround yourself in the best circumstances possible. So make sure you are aligning yourself with those people who make you feel loved and valued, and that you are sharing and showing love just as much as you are receiving it, because you want to be that light, that beacon for other people, because there's a lot of people out here hurting and they need spaces and lights. Be a light. That's what God made you for. Step into your purpose. You can do it. You deserve it, and you are worth it. So those are my prayers for you guys this week. Like I said, I'm recording sick, but I'm here and I'm glad to be here because I needed this. I'm recording on Saturday, June the 8th at 10:34 p.m. So yeah, I did dial it in late, but I had to wait. Because like I said, this is the first day that I have sounded like a human. And I hope that it is bearable. It's not my normal voice, but she's coming back. I'm fighting. But I am really glad to be here this week. I have a lot on my heart, and I definitely want to keep talking to you guys. I want to thank everyone for their support of last week's episode 188 about the reset is coming. The reset experience is here. I am so excited. Yes, the reset is on August the 24th. At the Wave Lake Nona Hotel. And the reset is a one-day luxury intimate experience that I am hosting. And this event is a reset. It literally is a moment for you to sit down as a woman and recalibrate. And we are going to recalibrate and come up with action-oriented strategies that will change your life in the next 60 days over 4 main areas. And that is mental health, physical health, financial health, and building community. Because when I was down, I recognized that I really struggled in those 4 core areas. And until I made actionable change in those areas, my life really was in a state. I was really at rock bottom. And so I want to offer tips and suggestions and resources and thought leaders and support who will help you be able to build your path out of that. And so if you want to hear more about it, please check out that episode. I will be talking about the reset, obviously, until it happens. Tickets are on sale now, as the website is thewelldonereset.com. And I will also make sure that link is in the show notes. And it is very important to me to talk about it because, again, like I said, lifes. And there are going to be moments where you are going to fall in those areas. And I can tell you they're interconnected. I can tell you that there are ways for you to dial in and to make sure that you are supported and can help navigate those through. There are resources out here. You don't have to fish through the internet. I promise you. Everything that you will get in that event is tried to and true and tested. And you will walk away with resources. Yes, it's going to be a beautiful event. The Wave Lake Nona Hotel is gorgeous, simply gorgeous. You'll be treated well, have amazing food, all the great things. But I'm giving you tangibles, baby. When you walk out of there, you'll have stuff in your hand that you can touch, things that you will put into place that will help you move forward. Because when you do well, I do well. That's how I get my energy. And so I am very invested in every woman that will be there and every speaker that will be speaking into you, because I don't play about that. I like to make sure that I surround people with the positive energy that they need in order to go forward, because life is tough enough. You don't need me trying to sell you wolf tickets. I'm not here for that. So I really hope that you will support. I hope I'll get a chance to meet you and hug you. But this week, I wanted to talk to you guys. I'm here with a new episode because I kind of needed to be. Life is doing its thing, and it's so funny because a lot of the content for, like I said, the next couple of weeks is going to be about, our targeting the key pillars of the reset. And so now this would be mental health. And it's funny that I would be in this position because I've had, life has been kind of tough lately. I've had some friends go through some really strong tragedies. A really good friend of mine lost her mother. Another good friend of mine, her father is now very ill. And unfortunately for myself, I also experienced a loss this past week. My brother passed away on Wednesday. And so I'm grieving. Or, you know what, let me not even pretend and say I haven't begun to grieve. I'm in the business side of death right now. So unfortunately, I've had to compartmentalize my feelings away. And I kind of wanted to share a little bit of that because that is unfortunately kind of giving me a deja vu moment to how I handled death when my father passed away. So I feel a little triggered and I'm trying to navigate it all. I thought I would come into this episode prepared. I'm not prepared. Like, I literally have no notes. And I'm sitting here just talking about it because I need to talk about it. And I'm very lucky. I'm not doing everything the way that I did back then. And, back then I just kind of tried to power through and just make everything happen quickly because I was like, I've just got to get it done. I've got to get it done, listening to my mom and how she was feeling and not really thinking about myself. And I kind of see trace of that now because, like I said, he's passed on Wednesday and I'm already into the business of death. And if you've dealt with death before, you understand what I mean when I'm talking about the business of death, because death is a business. It takes a lot to die, unfortunately. Trying to go through death certificates and burial processes and dealing with family and finances. It's a lot. And so unfortunately, I find that most of my thoughts are there. Right now, it is not about the emotions. My emotions kind of come in and out of it. And so I'm trying to guard myself with it because, like I said, I when I first went through it with my father, I pushed through. I moved forward. I was all about trying to handle his burial and get everything taken care of, deal with family, while at the same time making arrangements for my mother to come and live with me at the same time. It was quick, and I didn't give myself time to sit down. And this time I'm trying to give myself time to breathe, but it's kind of hard because I'm in this season of life. I'm here, I'm getting ready to do the reset in August, and I'm working, and I have a family, and so many things, so many demands on the time. And so I'm trying to make sure that I don't get caught up in the cycles that I've experienced before, where, like I said, you just kind of get caught up in just compartmentalization, because that has been such a strong coping mechanism for me, just full transparency. And the reason, like I said, I kind of want to talk about it because of how it relates to the reset and mental health is because when I broke down, when my father died, that's where I kind of started. That's where I made my commitment to God that if he helped get me through, I would tell the good and the bad of the journey and how the well done life and all of that started to formed out of my willingness to heal, my prayers to God to heal me, and also not wanting other people to experience what I was experiencing, the feelings of being alone, the feelings of like, I got to deal with everything by myself and there is nobody out here who can understand me. And I'm very grateful. My friends are checking in on me. I really appreciate it. Man is checking in on me. It's nice. Everyone wants to make sure that I am supported and cared for, and I appreciate it. And I'm very thankful. Even the cooler part was, it's like the day after he passed away, I got a chance to have therapy because I have a therapist now. I'm back in therapy for my limiting behavior. And so it was really good to be able to talk to her about how I was feeling because, this is like a shift, Unfortunately, I wasn't expecting him to pass away. I knew at some point he might, and because unfortunately, full transparency, my brother lived a hard life. He did. Unfortunately, he had many addictions, and I think his addictions caught up with him. But, our relationship over the years has been very complex, very up and down. I've talked about it on the podcast before. And I probably will talk about it more, but just kind of summing it up in, I guess, a nice little bow. My brother was born before I was, and he has a different father than I have. And over the course of our lives, we were not raised together. He was raised with my grandparents in North Carolina, and I was raised in Florida. And there are many different layers to that. And I've talked about it before, and right now I'll be honest, I'm not in the mood to rehash it. But there are a lot of family things that happened that led to that decision. And because of that decision that we not be raised together, I feel that there were a lot of resentments, a lot of pain, a lot of abandonment issues that were felt by him that weren't actually true, but it's just because of the nature of the situation. So I bring that up because unfortunately in many situations where families have gone through these things, this isn't new, this isn't unique. It happens quite often. And we don't talk enough about the pain of these traumas, these generational curses, because that's really what it is. It created a cycle. It created a generational curse that affected him in his life. And then it went on to affect how he raised children, how he had a wife. I mean, all of those things. And it affected his relationship with us. And he and I, like I said, it was complex. Our relationship was not easy. But all in all, I loved him. And I spent many years trying to prove my love. And I look back on that now and I can say that I did. I spent many years trying to prove my love. And when I say trying to prove my love, it was always trying to, make sure he had what he needed, even though it would not be the right decision to enable him, trying to make myself available to certain things. And again, it's just, doing what I felt I needed to do in order to make him feel better, to make him like me, to make him love me. And he probably wouldn't look at it on there as we had conversations about it. He didn't see it that way sometimes, but then he understood how I felt sometimes because he and I used to battle about it. Oh yes, we had many of our ups and downs, arguments and all. But at least in the end, I can say that it was love. I was going back through my phone and looking at the last conversation that I had, the last text message that I got from him. It was because he needed to borrow $20. And I said yes. And I gave it to him. And because little he had consistently created a habit of borrowing $20. And I just kept the $20 in my Cash App and gave him back the exact $20 all the time because I had gotten to a point where I wasn't enabling his habits anymore. And so I would only do that. And I stopped judging him because I felt like for years in my attempts to try to prove that I loved him, that I was like in a way trying to figure out a way to save him, figure out a way to change him. And I realized I had to stop that too because it's not my job to do that. I also had to recognize that he is the man that he is and he is living the life that he feels like he deserves. And there's nothing that I can do about it but love him. And so I learned how to just love him for who he was. And I said, I love you. And that was it. And he was like, I'll pay you back. And I said, okay. And that was it. And so on Wednesday, when I got that call, I was numb. I think I still am numb. I was numb. I cried for a few minutes when I was talking to my cousin about it after she was calling and telling me about it because I was frustrated. I was frustrated about why we're here and why this had to happen because he didn't have to die, in my opinion. I was frustrated because of the circumstances that he died. I just wish things had been different for him. I always wanted the best for him, I guess, but my best. Let me put it that way. I guess I wanted my best for him. It wasn't what maybe was the best for him. I don't know. And I apologize if it sounds kind of rambly, but if anyone out there has ever dealt with a sibling or a family member who has an addiction, then you know what I'm talking about. It's like you want so much for that person because you know that they're capable. You want what you want for them. But after a while, it has to get to a point that we recognize that it's not about what we want for them. It's about what they want for themselves. And I always felt he didn't want enough for himself. And I wanted more for him. And I had to learn how to stop wanting more. And so I felt like I had learned. And so when I got the call, like I said, I was numb. And I think I still am numb. I'm still trying to figure it out. And I guess once I get through the business of death, I will, in my moments, have time to sit with my feelings and look at the totality of him. And that's what I'm trying to do now, because I want to make sure I remember all the good times, because there were so many good times. There were a lot of bad times as well, but I'm choosing not to focus on that. And I'm choosing to carry the love because, like I said, I had gotten to a point where it was just all love. And I carried him with me. I wear 2 necklaces every day. And these 2 necklaces represent my babies, the loves of my life. And so I look at it, and his name is on one of my necklaces because I've carried him with me for years. He is one of the greatest loves of my life. And he probably would be surprised to know that. But he was, in spite of the complexity of our relationship, he was one of the greatest loves of my life because we had our moments. As he used to call me, the Michael Corleone of the family. And I would look at him and say, yes, he's more like Sonny or Fredo. Sorry, reference of The Godfather, but if you know, you know, I am totally that person. And he was totally that person. But he was someone I loved. He is someone who I will always love. And the only thing that I have to admit that is giving me peace right now is that I know he's finally at peace, because I felt like he was in so much turmoil and he just didn't know how to get out anymore. And so I'm just grateful that he's at peace. But, now comes the hard part where it's like, even though I didn't want to have a lot of connection with you every day, because I knew every day if I had a connection with you, it would be manipulative and transactional in some way. I always felt comfortable, though, in knowing that you were around. And now I have to get comfortable in the fact that you're not around. And I'm working through that. And like I said, it gives me peace to know he's at peace. It gives me peace to know that he's with our grandparents. It gives me peace to know that he's with my dad. He's with his dad. His father passed away many years ago as well, from what I understand. So he wound up getting the family that I feel like he always longed for. I don't know, Again, I apologize if it sounds kind of rambly. I'm just kind of processing, but I wanted to kind of, like I said, talk about it because it's real, it's real. Dealing with loved ones who have addictions is real. And loving them through their addictions and trying not to allow them to manipulate you while they have addictions is real. And then when you face these moments where you have unexpected losses and death, it can rock you. And dealing with the business of grief and business of death is real. And so, these are some real things that are happening to me right now. And so I hopefully am, giving you some context in regards to what's going on, as I probably will get a little bit more silent as we're going through. But also, hopefully, this is a cautionary tale. This is a reminder of the fact that you have to love people while they're here, and that we have to stop holding people to the standards that we want for them and allow people to live the life that they want for themselves. And yes, we do have to understand that that is going to parallel what we want. It's nature, it's life. I mean, we are not always going to be aligned, but that doesn't mean that the love doesn't align. That doesn't mean that they're not valuable. And we have to give people the space to live their life the way that they see fit, even if it doesn't fit within our box, because we love them. And focus on the love. Learn how to forgive. I mean, definitely, like I said, our relationship had many moments where I've had to forgive, where I'm sure he's had to forgive as well. But I feel good knowing that I don't have any regrets. He knew that I loved him because I always said it, no matter what. But it's tough, it's tough. And because his passing also reminds me personally of why I really love creating space for women to be able to have community, and why it is important that now maybe I start to shift to create space for men so that they can have community to build and heal as well. Like, it's really important because my brother suffered for quite a bit with his emotions. And I don't think he felt comfortable enough to share all of the resentments, all of the pain, all the frustrations. And I believe he tried to self-medicate in order to, navigate that. And I feel like that is unfortunately what contributed to his death. And so I'm trying to figure out a way of how to make sure that I'm creating space for people, for men, to be able to have room to be safe and to be open and vulnerable, because we need to have these conversations. We can't. All the things that are done in the dark always come to the light, and they hurt, and they create pains and traumas that can ripple through families for years, for decades. We have to create space for everyone to be able to be open. And so that is something that's on my heart. And now this unfortunate death reinforces that purpose in me. And I'm excited about doing that work along with this, because I want that space for people to be honest and open. I don't want anyone else to go through this. And I know that that is a lofty thing to say, because unfortunately there are many people who are going through these kind of situations right now. But I'm hopeful that if you have someone in your life who's like that maybe this will give you a little bit of different perspective. And I know I'm not getting into too much context right now. It's just, I'm not comfortable yet with it. It's not to hide it. It's just, I think I'm still processing where we are at and how we're here. And like I said, I haven't sat in the grief enough yet, and I will over the rest of my life, because unfortunately death doesn't get easier. It gets more tolerable every year, every month, every day, every hour that person is not there, because it's different. And so I definitely will have more conversations about it. But yeah, it's just, I think it's important because, again, this was a foundational point for me when I don't deal with death well. I don't think many people do, and nobody trains you and teaches you how to deal with it. And it's not just me. I think about now how it's affecting my mom. I try not to worry about me. I try to think about her. No parent, no matter how old they are, wants to bury a child. And so their relationship was contentious as well because of hurt feelings. And so now it's like, how do I navigate that with her, and trying to strike the balance? And it's not easy. It's not, there's just so much emotions. Death is such a life altering thing unexpectedly. And then topping that with addictions and all this other stuff, it gets even more complex and more heavy. And so it's very important to protect your energy and protect your mind. That's why I'm very grateful for being in therapy, proper timing, God's timing. God knew I was going to need to be in therapy, not just for my limiting behaviors. And God knew I was going to be able to have supportive people around me to check in, because that was one of my fatal flaws last time, trying to do everything on my own because I was embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed anymore. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. I was. The first time when my dad died, I was embarrassed because I was like, I don't want anyone to see that my mom is, going through things. At that point, she was sick, and I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking clearly. Unfortunately, death does make you very irrational, or you're embarrassed because you need help and you got to take care of a family member. I'm not embarrassed anymore. I don't care, because this is my truth. This is my life. And I'm saying that to someone who might be going through the same thing. It's your life. You got to own it and let people help you. Let people love on you, because in these seasons of darkness, it's essential and it's needed. And your mental health and your will to go forward will be challenged. And so, yes, like I said, I've compartmentalized right now just because it's still fresh. We're only a couple of days in, and the business of death has to be dealt with first before I can sit. But when it's time to sit, I will sit and dwell and hopefully reflect. I'm trying to look at it where I want to reflect on all the good times, all the great conversations, all of those things. And I probably will have another discussion with you guys about it. It's just right now, this is where I'm at. I'm all over the place and trying to find my balance. And I just wanted to make sure I came here and talked to you about what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. And just, again, I think I'm ready for the reset. I need a reset. So by the time this event comes, I'm going to be primed up because I need it as well. And I look forward to being poured into by such amazing ladies as their speakers on the mental health panel. I mean, my goodness, Yasmin Cheyenne, the author of The Sugar Jar and Wisdom of the Path, because I'm going to need to be able to build upon my sugar, my good energy, and pour into me. And then Demetria Hill Sloan from Vantage Point Coaching and hearing her journey. I'm really excited to talk to you guys. And there's just so many different special tips and things that we will be sharing as a part of mental health because it is foundational. It is the foundation of everything that you do, because when your mind is not right, you are not right in your spirit, you are not right in your body, you will make very poor financial decisions. You make poor decisions in general because you're just not feeling your best. And it is very hard to build community because you feel like you have to wall yourself off because it's like, I can't take the time to explain. No one's going to understand me. And I don't want you to experience those things, like I said, that I've experienced. I don't want you to make the mistakes that I have made. Learn from my lesson. And so I feel very blessed to be at a point where I can see that, yes, there's some similarities, but I'm also taking some things differently this time and building myself up for a good trajectory. I want you to have a good trajectory as well. So like I said, I'm probably going to take a little bit of break because I need to. I'm in the business of it. And I think I'm anticipating probably in the next week or so that I should be able to get the business of the death resolved. And then I can give myself time to breathe and to focus on my emotions. But I will work through those probably with you guys because y'all are my safe place too. And so I want to make sure that I share and grow with you and heal as I can and stop talking when I need to. And so, yes, after this, I'm probably going to stop talking, which means next week there probably will not be a new episode because I think that'll be the time where we say goodbye. And I need to focus my energy on my family at that point. And also I need to preserve my energy and my health. And so I just want to ask for grace during that time and for your prayers and support and encouragement because I need it. I can't even front. I mean, like I said, yeah, it's a lot going on. Life is doing its thing. And I'm not afraid to ask for prayers and good energy because I know that when I am praying and you're praying, everything is getting magnified and sent back to us in 10 times over. So I'm just truly believing it. And I really want to thank you all for your support and encouragement. So yeah, I'll be back in like a week after this. So that way I can have some time to process and I'll be processing with you. And if any of you are going through grief moments or just challenging situations, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm more than happy to try to pour into you because you'll pour into me and we'll create some love and magic together because that's what reciprocal relationships are about. And this podcast is about reciprocity and love and support and encouragement. So I want to be there for you just like you will be there for me. So again, I'm still kind of mapping my way through. I probably will talk more about my brother Greg is his name, as I'm processing and healing on this journey. But if you take nothing away from all of this today, please take away that it's important to reach out to those people who are struggling, to those people that we love and the relationships are complex. They've been hurt through words or through actions. Don't let things go unsaid. Start to look at yourself and ask yourself, are you putting your expectations on that person? Or are you allowing that person to be exactly who they're supposed to be and loving them anyway? And if for some reason that you can't make the choice to love them because maybe it's too painful for you, it's not good for you, that's okay. But if it's not something that is too painful for you, that doesn't diminish you in any way, learn to love people for who they are. Because spending so much time putting your feelings, your thoughts, your expectations on others will limit the amount of time that you have potentially seeing the beauty in that person. See the beauty in people for who they are. We can't change everybody. We can only focus on changing ourselves. And remember, life is short. Love freely, love hard, love with discernment, because God is always in the midst, but love and be loving. because that's what makes you who you are. You are an instrument of change and beauty and light and love. Be that instrument and let God use you and create beautiful spaces for you. So that's the pod this week. I'll be back, like I said, in probably a week or so. I just need time to process and move through. I want to thank you guys again for your support. I'll make sure I link all of the information in the show note. Follow me on the socials. Hit me up in the DMs. Or send me an email. I love email. And we can sit down and talk. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.